Banyan Tree in Hometown Vulgar Appreciation. One writer's works. Author, I drift. Where does the hometown point to here? Fujian Chang'an. And where does the author live? Hong Kong. So from the subject point of the article, this article is a homesick work. Huang Qilian was born in Chang'an, Fujian Province. In 1975, he settled in Hong Kong in 1995, and moved to the United States in 1995. He is now president of the Hawaii Chinese Writers Association. Editor-in-chief of the Pearl Harbor Literary Newspaper. Visiting professor of Huaqiao University. The author was admitted to the Department of Chinese Language and Literature of Fujian Normal University in 1960. Start from poetry on the road of literature. He has been published in Fujian Literature and Art, People's Literature, People's Daily, etc. Works are published in newspapers and periodicals. The poem Two Generations has been translated into English French. After going to Hong Kong, he was engaged in painting and insisted on amateur writing. He has been working in marine literature and art and Wen Wei Po in Hong Kong. New Evening News, 1970s. And the mainland contemporary works. Flower City. Straight and other newspapers published a large number of poems and articles. Cooperate with his wife under the pseudonym Lian Yun. Published some short stories that reflect the real life in Hong Kong. He is the author of a collection of poems, Overseas Spray and Earth Poetry. Echo of the World, Tides of Zhangjiang, Footsteps of the Wind, Breath of the Sea. Chinese and English compare selected poems of the Yellow River Wave and a collection of essays. Distant Love, The Foot Sound of Life and so on. In 1979, he wrote the article The Banyan Tree in his hometown. Won the champion of the first Chinese Literature Prize held by the Hong Kong City Council. Was widely reprinted for comment. Since the 1980s, it was included into the first Chinese mainland high school Chinese textbook. There are also local universities will choose them as textbooks or supplementary textbooks. Personal biographies and literary achievements are included in the Biography of World Chinese Cultural Celebrity and Dictionary of Chinese Writers. A General History of Chinese Literature and a History of Overseas Chinese Literature. And other dozens of dictionaries and history books to see. The original name is Huang Qilian. As a reader of China in the 1970s and 1980s. The first reaction is Huang Shiren. Huang Shiren revolutionary model drama white-haired girl in the work. A villain who appears. The white-haired woman is the daughter of the tenant farmer Yang Beilao named Shi-er. Yang Beilao and Shi-er busy year still owe a but debt. To the end of the year Huang Shiren and to force the debt, to use Shi-er to pay the debt. Shi-er was forced to flee to the mountains and become a white-haired woman. After the liberation in the people's government under the search. White-haired woman saw the day and lived a normal happy life. In short, Huang Shiren is in the minds of our Chinese readers. Is a bully landlord bully men and women, put the usury of the bad guys. From the memory logic perspective, Huang Qilian and Huang Shiren are only one word apart. It's easier to remember but emotionally. The banyan tree in my hometown can appear in our middle school Chinese textbooks. The author Huang Qilian must be a positive one. There is only one word difference between the two names. These two names were the more popular ones of the era. That is, each of us has a name, and it must be contemporary. For example, Jiangguo Jianjun National Day and so on that we can find. Huang Qilian and Huang Shiren as real people. Lifetime must be relatively close to or even of the same time. As mentioned above, Huang Shiren is a figure in a literary work. So does it exist in reality? The story of the white-haired woman legend is diverse, Baidu Encyclopedia said. The white-haired girl is a literary and artistic symbol in the liberated areas. It quickly swept all over the liberated areas. After that, the opera was widely performed in the state-controlled region. But there are also real white-haired women in China. It was Luo Yangxiu of Sichuan province who tried to avoid the landlords. After living in the mountains for 11 years, he was rescued by the Communist Party. Died in 2002. During the Cultural Revolution, it was published in the press and periodicals. Reports of this incident and photos of my family members. Luo Yangziu still has 2 braids. Thin, dark, and typical of southern women. It seems that the white-haired woman has a realistic prototype. So that Huang Shiren also basically has the life prototype existence. As for the name of the person may not be called Huang Shiren. Huang Shiren was composed in the 1945 opera A White-Haired Girl. Name of the design arrangement. In fact, this Huang Shiren can be any name. But there has to be a name only in this work. Huang Shiren became a landlord and a bully. Became the name for a negative example. So in any work, create a fictional name. Maybe similar or people in real life. Bring a great social influence. For example, Xiao Wang, who often appears in news reports. Such as Professor Luo Xiang's Mouth of Zhongshan. But the character in the work must have a name. You can't call it Character 1 or Character A. So maybe 1 and A will quit again. It is said that the story of the white-haired woman was compiled into a drama when performed in the Hebei base area. Local people jump to watch that the performance is around. So the white-haired women exist. That Huang Shiren also exists in the eyes of the common people. Call you to do Huang Shiren, that is to scold you. Huang Shiren has become a synonym for landlords and bullies. Huang Shiren was created in 1945. And our article Banyan Tree in my hometown. The author Huang Xilian was born in 1941. And this is the creator labeled Huang Shiren. 3 words appeared in Yan'an. But in 1945, the white-haired girl was the 7th representative of the Communist Party of China. The performance at the conference was a great success. After the success of the work White-Haired Girl publicity. I don't know if it will affect the author at the time. But at that time, only 2 or 3 years old, the author did not understand the human suffering. Huang Xilian was born in Changle County, Fujian Province on March 27, 1941. With Ms. Bing Xi and fellow villagers. In 1938, the Japanese captured Pingtung, Fujian, Changle fucking Xiapufuan and other more than 10 cities and counties and coastal islands. During the anti-Japanese War of Qi, 18.5% of Fujian province was occupied by the Japanese army. He also occupied Xiamen to carry out colonial rule for 7 years. During the establishment of the Pseudo-Xiamen Special Municipal Government. The war was won in August 1945. In September, the 70th Army of the National Army was ordered to rally in Fuzhou. Military Navy Xiamen to port Major General Commander Lu Defo into Xiamen to accept. The Japanese surrender of the Kuomintang Fujian provincial government continued to the 38 years of the Republic of China. Until Fuzhou was liberated on August 17, 1949. After the founding of New China, the once popular white-haired girl and Huang Shiren. Normally, it will spread to the place where the young Huang Xilian lives. In 1953, Huang Xilian joined Changle County Middle School at the age of 11. He loved literature and painting when he was in middle school. Many of his works have been selected for International Children to Draw Pictures and won awards. In 1960, at the age of 18, Huang Xilian was admitted to the Chinese language department of Fujian Normal University. He started from poetry and embarked on the road of literature. In 1964, he joined the Fujian Provincial Task Force and worked in Xiamen City for 1 year. From 1965 to 1975, he taught at Fuzhou Senior High School. Time flowed to the Cultural Revolution period. The ballet The White-Haired Girl was performed during the Cultural Revolution. The Shanghai Dance School was changed according to the opera of the same name. And from May 9 to June 15, 1967, participated in the performance that lasted for more than a month in Beijing. Therefore, it was selected as one of the 8 revolutionary model operas during the Cultural Revolution. on September 25, 1973, to promote the revolutionary model drama. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications has also issued sets of stamps. At the beginning of the Cultural Revolution, the author Huang Shixilian was 25 years old. In that decade when entertainment was scarce, revolutionary model drama is a strong cultural propaganda. Huang Shiren, these three words do not know whether it will. It has a little influence on the young Huang Qilian. In September 1975, the Yellow River Wave went to settle down in Hong Kong. Engaged in painting work, adhered to the amateur creation. He has published a lot of poems and essays in many newspapers and periodicals. Do not know whether Huang Shiren, these three words, can cross the concession line. Continue to influence the author. But writer Huang Shinside has a good pen name, Yellow River Wave. Once used the pen name Flood Drought should say that these two pen names are very good. And in our textbook, Banyan Tree in My Hometown, he used the pen name of the Yellow River Wave. The Yangtze and Yellow Rivers in China. The Yellow River is known as the Mother River of the Chinese nation. The author Huang Qilian is a spray in the Mother River. Drift to Hong Kong. In 1995, he moved to the United States and drifted overseas. However, such a pen name is the author's heart of the motherland is attached to the motherland expression. If I can be a writer in the south of the river, I can also learn from the Yellow River waves such as the Yangtze River water, or Tehu Stone or a canal bank. About the prehistoric pseudonym. This was an early pseudonym of the author. For the first time, focusing on the word prehistoric or. The word is suddenly famous. It was the Rio Olympic Games on August 8, 2016. After the women's 100m backstroke preliminaries. From the Chinese athlete Fu Yuanhui. I've already used my prehistorical powers. Become a booster. A historical power quickly became popular throughout the internet. And cannot control the prehistorical power in the body. It has also become a common language for netizens to ridicule. Priyati refers to the state of chaos and ignorance. At the beginning of heaven and earth, there was a great flood. Almost destroyed the whole world of a desolate land. It seems that the pen name used by the author Huang Shili is attached to water. The flood to the Yellow River waves also fit the normal growth trajectory of a man. At the beginning of power sigh their prehistorical power. In the grinding of life. Accepted that he was just a spray in the Yellow River. Surely he grew up in a land with a strip of water. For example, the banyan tree in this article, the banyan tree in my hometown, is in the water side of the banyan tree water for the yin with a feminine sense of soft beauty. And women are the future mothers, so they mean home. So the banyan tree in my hometown became the author's boat. Take the author to a distant place. Trees don't go. It is cured in the land under its feet. Write a tree on the ground. There must be no land under the tree. So the homeland is the idea inseparable from this paper. And the tree can be the meaning of the life of the ship. This is the author of the Yellow Wave, very valuable creation.